Hello everybody, welcome to Awesome Rusty Bucket. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already and drop a like on this video. I am trying to hit 100k on this channel by the end of the year, so your subscription would be much appreciated. Half of the people that watch these videos are not subscribed, yada yada. If I'm bringing the energy rather low in this video and then the next that follow, I am really tired because I got like 2 hours of sleep and I have to do a flight after I record these videos. So I don't know what it is. I can never sleep right before a flight, so not in the best mood. But something that has put me in a good mood as of recent is a really big NBA rule change. There's two big pieces of news that Shams tweeted about yesterday, which was that the play-in tournament is going to be back. I don't have much to talk about in regards to that. All I will say is that initially I did not like the play-in tournament, and I made a video talking about not liking it. And then when I actually saw it in practice, thought it was relatively reasonable. And I was, at the end of it, pretty pro play-in. That being said, I think the general excitement that it sparks at the start of the playoffs doesn't actually carry much weight in the long term. I'm sure short term, it makes some money, and of course it's interesting at the time, but it's not something that we really remember all too well, or at least I don't think I do. Not that now there were some incredible games because we got Warriors, Lakers, I guess technically the second time we've had the play-in, because we had the weird thing in the bubble that was like a half play-in. But regardless, that's such a unique circumstance that I don't expect to replicate itself consistently, to have arguably the two best players in the league, Steph Curry and LeBron James, playing each other in the play-in tournament. So ultimately, I don't think it's a big deal. I think it's not going to really matter, and it's some extra entertainment. And if the 7th through 10th seed gets jumbled up a little bit, it doesn't really matter that much, generally speaking. Anyways, after that, talking about the news that made me happy was from Shams saying, beginning with the 2021-22 season, the NBA will implement new rules to reduce non-basketball moves used to draw fouls, sources tell The Athletic. So that means that no more bullshit foul baiting. And the wording is very important here. It has reduced non-basketball, or a new rule to reduce non-basketball moves used to draw fouls. Now, they said before that they were cracking down on that, and that was really just them paying lip service. So I would hope that there's more weight to this. As for some follow-up tweets about that, Shams said, NBA officiating staff will be trained to identify and properly rule overt non-basketball actions to initiate contact with defender, such as offensive players launching into defenders, abruptly veers off path, kicks leg at abnormal angle, or has off-arm hook defenders. So that's huge. The James Harden hook arm is a really big move that getting removed from the arsenal is a pretty big thing. And then finally says, if deemed more than marginal, and in brackets, offensive players' contact impacts the defender's speed, quickness, balance, or rhythm, player receives an offensive foul. A no call should result if the contact is deemed marginal. So, offensive players clearly initiating the contact either will not be called, or it will be called offensive if there's some serious contact that happens. So this is something that we have been bitching about, and I specifically have been bitching about for a long time. I did a video specifically on foul baiting over on my main channel, and then a long time ago I did a video on some of the worst things about the NBA, because I'm negative and I wanted to say some bad things, even though obviously I love the NBA. And that was problem number one. Legitimately, players drawing fouls off of bullshit is the number one most annoying thing about the NBA to me, and it always frustrates me because it actively impedes the product of the game. It slows down the pace, it feels cheap, it makes the final product seem dumber, getting 3 free throws off of a dumb pump fake and then you jumped into your defender, things like that. It's okay, well, this is bullshit, because that shouldn't have been called, and those points add up, and it makes you feel like the game is less valid, and it's not fun to watch. It's not fun knowing what it does with the actual result of the game. It slows down the pace, so especially with how often teams can go to the line in today's game, games go like 3 hours as a result. There was that infamous game between the Suns and the Clippers where the last 2 minutes took like 35 minutes. 2 minutes of game clock, that is, ended up taking 35 minutes of real time because there was a review or a foul or something every other possession. So getting this out of the way, discouraging this behavior, and hopefully eventually, for the most part, eradicating it will be huge for the league. This is obviously going... My dog is barking in the background. If you can hear it, there's not much I can do about it. She fucking sucks. Every time I talk about my dog in these videos, I say she sucks, and you guys think I'm mean. But dogs can suck and you still love them, okay? Some of you still love family members that suck. So that's why I say that. Where was I? And getting rid of this non-basketball contact that is used to draw fouls will increase the integrity of the game, and I'm more interested in the fact that this is a rule change that is pro-defense. This is a rule change that is in favor of defense over the offense. And I almost feel like the NBA, with its rule changes and stuff like that, went in such an extreme direction where they made it too offense-friendly. And this isn't some old head like annoyed with how the modern game is, because I love the modern game just like I love the modern game more because I've only existed in the modern game for the most part. But I do appreciate the older styles of the game as well. But it's gone a little too far in the offensive direction where defense really, really feels like it's not as important and it doesn't matter. Now, I understand the context that means that the defenders today are just really good and the system isn't in their favor. Some people turn that to, there's guys just can't defend anymore. It's like, no, if anything, they're just not allowed to. They're still allowed, they're still allowed to, but not to the extent that you would necessarily like. Just being able to be a little bit more physical and then just not having to deal with that bullshit will be nice. That being said, there's a lot of people who are hesitant as to how this will actually change things because, James Harden, Trae Young, Luka Doncic, Jimmy Butler, Joel Embiid, all of these guys are still going to get to the free throw line. I would say like 30% of the fouls that those names that I mentioned draw are bullshit. And assuming you cut those 30 out, you're really just cutting out the loudest anomaly among them, because these guys are still amazing at drawing fouls and in ways that are legitimate and like, yeah, that was a foul, not bullshit. So I don't actually think this is going to impede players' games as much as you might think it will. Just the aesthetic of it and really the most extreme examples of the foul baiting stuff just won't be called anymore. There will still be ticky-tack fouls. There will still be mistakes. But in general, if you were eliminating the most annoying fouls of the group of fouls that you have to deal with, then you are sitting pretty in my book. That will make the game just a whole lot better to watch. It'll make you believe in the final result significantly more. And when you can do something like that, obviously you do it. I'm glad the NBA has finally gone in this direction and addressed this. RIP to the players who rely on foul baiting so much, but almost all the players who are known for that already have an incredible offensive repertoire to begin with. It's pretty much like it's like Jimmy Butler, who's the only one who really doesn't. But he still is obviously a good scorer outside of free throws, but he doesn't have as much of a bag as dumb Twitter kids would say. But yeah, that's my thoughts on this. I'm very glad it's happening. I'm very excited. I know you can't tell by my tone because I am tired, but I am very, very pleased with this move. But yeah, that is it. Goodbye.